everyone, Amber from Amber Approved, your leading health food expert. Today, I want to briefly talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts of cleansing and some of the, reasons behind why we may be making the choice to go on a cleanse. So I know for me, being my history of having a food addiction in the past, I tried to do a lot of cleanses and restrictive eating styles to try to lose weight, to end the binging. And of course, it always exploded in my face, and I always ended up going back to binging and trying the next kind of cleanse. The problem here, and this brings me to my first don't out of the three that I'm going to share, is don't try cleansing or restrictive eating styles for that matter if you have a history of emotional eating, a food addiction, binge eating, or any sort of emotional connection to your food. Because I can guarantee as you go through this process, because cleanses don't fix the emotional triggers for the reasons why we may binge eat or emotionally eat or use food to cope with emotions, boredom, etc. When we restrict ourselves and then we rebel and we think about all the foods we can't have or won't allow ourselves to have, all of a sudden, if we get triggered, we get upset, or something happens, we're going to end up right back in all those foods and then feel guilty because we feel like we've messed up the cleanse. And again, that vicious cycle can continue. So again, my first don't, if you have an emotional connection to your food. My second don't is if you don't know your current state of health. So a lot of people will just like do a liver cleanse or do a, again, more restrictive cleansing, or they'll do a juice cleanse and just drink juice. And they don't know their current state of health. This can be a problem because if all of a sudden you go from your regular eating, whatever that is, if you're a clean eater or you're eating refined foods, especially for people though that are eating a lot of refined foods and then they decide to go from, fast food, lots of sugar and processed foods to, green juices and only eating like vegetables and fruits and eating really clean. This can really put the body into detox, so you can get very severe. Some people can get very severe symptoms, some people not as much, but it can shock the body. So you can get major headaches, flu-like symptoms, nausea, being really, really tired, getting crazy cravings for sugar or salt, changes in bowel movements, and all sorts of other symptoms. And for some people, this can really scare a person if they're not educated or don't have somebody educated that is guiding them. The other problem with this is when they eliminate those refined foods and start to feel crappy, because that's what happens when you eliminate foods that your body is like addicted to, and these foods are also making your body feel sick. We go through withdrawal, especially with sugar and MSG and aspartame and gluten. So we can cut these foods out, feel worse, and then think, oh my God, no, I should be eating those foods because I actually feel good when I eat them. And all of a sudden, when I start to cut them out, I feel like crap. No, that's the detox. But again, if you don't know that this is going on, it could scare you, and again, you could end up thinking there's something seriously wrong with you when there's not. So I always recommend that you work with somebody, get your current state of health assessed, work with someone like myself or someone that you trust or know that could really guide you in the right direction and really advise you to see if this is really for your best good, or if something else a bit more gentle is more suited for you. My third don't for cleansing is don't feel like if you do a cleanse and you messed up a little bit that you've ruined the whole thing. So have an open attitude. Don't have a closed mind. We're all human, and we all, have temptations and parties, and there's always something going on. So as much as I invite you to be as committed as you can, if you do end up having a day where you eat off your cleanse, or you go a bit off of your protocol, don't beat yourself up. Just, okay, it happened, moving on. It doesn't ruin the whole thing, trust me. So that's my don'ts. Now let's go to my do's. So my first do is be extra kind and gentle with yourself when you are doing some sort of more, cleansing protocols. So do sleep more, do drink more water, and also do slow down your exercise routine. So this is not the period of time you want to be training for an Ironman, going for personal best, doing really intense cardio in the gym. This is when we want to slow down our activity and kind of maintain where we are. Do more gentle activities, more gentle restorative yoga, more walking, more stretching. And I, again, encourage to just relax. Do incorporate more self-care. This is my second do. So massages, floating, dry skin brushing, baths, showers, sea salt, especially in the bath. We want to make sure you're treating your body to the best of your abilities all the time, but especially when you are cleansing or detoxing your body. Again, the more gentle you can be, the less You should feel the exhaustion and things like that lingering on for longer than normal. My third is educate yourself and or again, get support from an expert, but educate yourself before you're just going to dive on a bandwagon, whether it's with friends, something you've seen on TV, some public figure claiming to do this cleanse because you're going to get amazing results. Do your research and be educated again and know your current state of health. So do your reading. Is this actually a good fit for you? What are the side effects or reactions or symptoms that the body may experience if you do decide to go with something like this? Make sure that you know when I'm working with my clients, if we are doing any sort of liver support or candida support, I'm always telling them ahead of time, these are the symptoms you may or may not experience as you go through this protocol, and it's totally normal. So then it helps them to understand and have awareness if for some reason these things are happening. Again, they know what to do and how to take care of their body. So those are my do's and don'ts of cleansing. If you want the full kind of history, this is just a sneak peek. You'll have to stay tuned for episode 63 of the No Sugarcoating Podcast coming out this Sunday. Podcasts always come out on Sundays, and you can find that on iTunes as well as amberapproved.ca for all of the episodes. So again, you'll want to stay tuned for the full kind of my full rant on the do's and don'ts of cleansing coming this Sunday. In the meantime, definitely be sure to check out my website at amberapproved.ca. And if you can resonate with this or you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out and book your 30-minute complimentary consult with me today. See you next week.